Hello and welcome to this video tutorial. This is a continuation of the previous video, where in this video we will look at two things. One is the creation and how to create milestones within MS Project, and then secondly, how to order the activities effectively. Okay, so let's look at the first one, milestones. As you remember from the course content, milestones are key events that occur during the project. So there are a number of milestones in the DecoCam project. We're going to enter one. Now, after initiate the project, there is a milestone that has been defined called project approved. So once you do initiate the project, then that milestone will have been completed. So we're going to insert a task there. We're going to say project approved. Now at this point, MS Project just assumes it's a regular task that you're putting in there. It's a 1-day question mark. The way you can signify it's a milestone is to indicate it's 0 days. Notice it becomes a diamond, and that indicates milestone. So that's milestone creation, and there should be a number of them throughout the project. Now, next up is scheduling the activities, indicating the date on which they are planned to occur. Well, the primary means to do so is through the use of dependencies. So I'm just going to remind us about the planning that was done during the textbook. If you remember, this is the creation of the network diagram, and it shows the order of the activities from the start, which is initiate the project, to the end, which is close the project. These lines indicate dependencies in that create sign graphics text needs to occur before order banner stands occurs, and then this one occurs. So that's showing an order. Well, this is what we want to put into MS Project. So let's see how we do that. Well, first of all, the first one that we want to do is this is the very first activity in the project. It has no dependency. So after this ends, we want the project to be approved. So we want after this, then comes this. And right now they're both showing to occur at the same, or they're starting together. So the way you do that, when they are they're one under each other, you can just select them down. So just grab both of them from this one first, this one second. Make sure that you do it in order, this first, this second. When you've done that, you press the link button, and this is now showing that when this finishes, then this one will complete as well. Now, if ever you do it wrong, just as an aside, if you've done that and then you go, oh, I didn't want to do that, you can always unlink them by clicking that. Again, you have to click the first, click the second, and then unlink. So let's continue on. After the project has been approved, so that's the predecessor, you now want to start this activity here. Now, the problem is we can't scroll or select down like this because there's a summary task in the way. So in this case, we have to select the first, the predecessor, hold the control key down, select the second. Okay, you can release the control key at this point because the two are now selected, and then link them. You can see what's happening there. And then, for example, after the project is completed, you can then start to create the sign and graphics text. So then you select this one. So this, then this, and link. I'm going to grab both. I'm going to select both of these. This one first, this one second, and link. Okay, so we just keep doing this. So this process continues. Again, this is based upon our understanding of the order of the two. So at this, if I was to continue on, it would look like this. So you can see how all of the dependencies have been entered throughout. And if we scroll over, we can see that it will end on May 13th because we've entered all of the dependencies. Okay, so that's That's the primary means of entering information in order to schedule activities. Now, there is another type of a way to do it. Now, before I go on to that, though, notice at no time did I go and change the start dates of this. I didn't. I let the definition of the dependencies then the software calculated the start dates. Even for initiate the project, it calculated the start date because there was no dependency, there's nothing coming before it, it will use the project start date. So that's automatically calculated. Now, there is another type of activity, which we're going to call date constrained. And these are activities that must occur on a certain date, have to. And they're scheduled to be on the date. And those are legitimate. For example, let's use this following example as a separate from the initiate the project. We want to show that the project kickoff meeting is being scheduled, and so we're going to put that in between these two. So we are going to insert task. Okay. So it's putting that new task out there. You notice that because it doesn't know where it should be scheduled, it just assumes that it's March 23rd. And we're going to call this project kickoff meeting. Okay, we're going to give it a 1-day duration. Okay. Now, it is not dependent upon other activities in order to, it's scheduled like purposely. There will be an invitation sent out and so on. So we're not going to we're not going to let dependencies schedule it because we want to schedule it. So in this case, we do change the start date, and let's say that we're going to set it for March 24th. Okay, so that's the date we're going to send it. Now, notice a couple of things has happened. One is there's no dependency line between things because it's not scheduled that way. There's a calendar entry here which says this, or a symbol, this task has a start no earlier than constraint. So it's telling you there's a date constraint. And then there's even a little message here to say, if we click on it, entering a start date limits how project can schedule this task. Do you want to do this? So yes, we do, right? So this is, we're going to keep it. Right, so we'll keep it. It makes the message go away. But this is a case where you are using a date constraint. Now, on many projects, most projects, most of the activities should be scheduled using dependencies. So it's unusual to have date constraints using MS Project. Reserve those for activities where they must occur on a certain date. Okay, so that's this video. We'll continue on in the next.